The future of the Hulk in the MCU has finally been addressed, and it's coming straight from the man who has defined the character for over a decade, Mark Ruffalo. As the Marvel Cinematic Universe prepares for one of its most important chapters with Avengers Doomsday, fans have been wondering which iconic heroes will be part of this massive crossover event. And now, Ruffalo has stepped in to give a definitive answer about whether Bruce Banner will be smashing his way into the next Avengers film. In a recent interview, Ruffalo confirmed that the Hulk will not appear in Avengers Doomsday. That's a big statement, especially considering how central Bruce Banner has been to the MCU since its earliest days. From his debut alongside Earth's mightiest heroes to becoming one of the emotional cores of the team, Hulk has always been there when the stakes were at their highest. So hearing that he might sit out one of the biggest Marvel movies ever immediately caught fans off guard. But here's where things get interesting. Ruffalo didn't shut the door on the character's future. In fact, he made it very clear that he's more than willing to return as Hulk again, as long as Marvel continues to find meaningful and exciting things to do with the character. That line alone tells us a lot about where Marvel's mindset is right now. They're not just bringing characters back for nostalgia. They want purpose, story, and emotional weight behind every return. And if you look at where Hulk is right now in the MCU timeline, that actually makes a lot of sense. The version of Bruce Banner we last saw has evolved significantly. He's no longer the uncontrollable force of rage from the early Avengers days. Instead, he's become Professor Hulk, a blend of brains and strength, a character who has already gone through one of the most complete arcs in the entire franchise. So, if Marvel is going to bring him back again in a major crossover, they need to give him something new to do, something that pushes the character forward. What makes the situation even more fascinating is the timing. Ruffalo is already confirmed to appear in Spider-Man Brand New Day alongside Tom Holland, which means Bruce Banner will still be active in the MCU during this same period. Set photos from that film even teased Banner in a vulnerable state, possibly injured or dealing with another transformation. So while Hulk may not be part of the Avengers lineup in Doomsday, his story is definitely still continuing elsewhere. Of course, Marvel fans know better than to take everything at face value. The studio has a long history of keeping secrets and having its actors misdirect audiences to protect major reveals. We've seen it happen before with characters denying involvement only to show up in trailers or surprise appearances later. Even Chris Evans himself once denied being in Doomsday, only for Steve Rogers to appear in the very first teaser. So there is always a possibility that Ruffalo could be keeping something under wraps. Still, if we take his words at face value, it suggests a bigger strategy at play. Avengers. Doomsday is already shaping up to be a massive multiversal event, packed with returning legends, new heroes, and major storylines involving characters like Doctor Doom, the Fantastic Four, and the X-Men. It's possible that Marvel is intentionally saving Hulk for an even bigger role later on, especially with Avengers Secret Wars on the horizon. That film is expected to reset or reshape the MCU in a huge way, and Hulk could play a key role in that transformation. Another detail worth noting is that not every hero from Spider-Man Brand New Day has been confirmed for Doomsday either. Characters like Spider-Man himself and the Punisher have not been officially announced for the Avengers lineup. That could mean that Marvel is dividing its heroes across multiple storylines, setting up different arcs that will eventually collide in Secret Wars. If that's the case, Hulk's absence from Doomsday might actually make his eventual return even more impactful. At the end of the day, Ruffalo's comments give us clarity, but they also leave us with even more questions. Is Hulk really sitting this one out? Or is Marvel playing the long game with one of its most beloved characters? Either way, one thing is certain. Bruce Banner's story in the MCU is far from over, and his next appearance could be bigger than ever. And as we get closer to the release of Avengers Doomsday, every new detail, every teaser, and every interview like this will continue to shape our expectations for what could be one of the most important Marvel movies ever made. If you're excited to see where Hulk shows up next and how the MCU builds towards Secret Wars, make sure you subscribe to the channel for more updates, leaks, and breakdowns as we get closer to the next phase of Marvel's biggest saga.